So yeah, how do you feel every time you watch that video?
Well, watching it,
How many times have you
I was
watched?
tearing up a little bit. It's just a very overwhelming experience for me. I mean, I remember my heart beating, and every time I hear that never-ending music, my heart beats again the same way it beat on that night. But I'll be honest, I think my mom watches it maybe 100 times more than I do every single day, because every morning when I'm going down for breakfast, you know, you just hear that thumping music, and she almost that
Yes.
music, yes, and every single morning with her coffee, and she watches it, and she's like, "Oh, I still can't believe that."
Oh, that must have been a proud moment for your mom for
For
sure.
sure.
So has it sunk it yet already? 2 months after winning?
Yes, it finally has. It's such an incredible experience. I mean, I couldn't believe it for the first month and a half, right? It was so surreal. But I've started working so much on my advocacy and with so many organizations here that I am genuinely so thankful that this has happened, because I've managed to reach out to so many people already, and it's just an experience which I am learning a lot from, and hopefully I can change that little bit in people's lives, by bringing awareness to my cause, and also to the charity work that I'm doing here in Malta.
But before we get to your advocacy, how have you been? I'm curious, how have you been adjusting to your new role as the newest ambassador of your country?
To start off with, I mean, my life has become a lot more hectic, a lot more busy, and a lot more full. But thankfully, through my dance training and through all my sports training in the past, I've really grasped the hang of the virtues of timing and self discipline, so that everything has really just fit in. Really, I've been having to deal with and speak to and work with a lot more people than I used to, and it's so beautiful to be able to get to know so many people. I've been lucky enough to work with designers I've admired in my country for a very, very long time. I've always been into, you know, fashion and dresses, and so being able to work with some designers who I've looked up to for so long is really an honor for me.
Right. Uh, it seems like you were made for pageantry. Yes. So
Thank you.
as you rose to the top, how did it all begin for you?
Well, beginning for me, I've been always quite a confident person. I've always loved the stage since I was a very little girl. So through my dancing, I've been performing since the age of 3. First through ballet, and then jazz, and then contemporary, and then my dance degree. So I've been on the stage pretty much my entire life. Um, I had been asked to do certain jobs which were modeling related, because people told me like I was very photogenic many times, like, please come and do this, you're very photogenic, and I would go and I would love it. It was so much fun. And then I started speaking and doing interviews on television after my Eurovision Young Dancers, which is quite a big competition in Malta for dance, and that was when it started. I was contacted by the Miss World Malta organization at the end of 2015, and I said, sure, like it is a road I've been interested in for a very long time. I used to love watching on television. I sometimes dance in these events as well. And I used to look at the girls and think, oh my God, they're so beautiful. They're so strong. They're so courageous, and that to be able to speak on stage and in front of so many people. And I took my Miss World journey as that. So it was my first time. I was so excited, I remember. And that was when I was 22. And that is how it started. However, my Miss Universe journey this year took a little bit of a different toll. So I was always obviously eager to do Miss Universe. It is something which I've wanted to do since I can't remember. But I don't think, had I not been through some things which I've been through in the past few years, that it would have been this year. I always had this perfect dream of competing in Miss Universe Malta when I was 27, 28, so that if I didn't win, I would have tried, like I would have done my very best, but it would have been the last year I would have been eligible to take part in a pageant. But this year, last year, the past 2 years have really hit me hard. I've been through some terrible things, like I was speaking to you, Adam. And I think I used, not I think, I definitely used my Miss Universe journey in Malta, my experience here, to be able to work against myself and my brain, to be able to fight and bring my confidence back and find who I really am again. So that is how this Miss Universe journey started. And I am so thankful for all the people who have helped me along the way, for finding myself again, for being a stronger version. I think I've gained some things which I didn't even know existed within myself, and that is what I am truly thankful for.
Yes, you know what? You just said a lot of things. I can't, I don't know how to ask you all these questions.
Okay.
If I could finish asking all these questions. So now that you mentioned about it, you know, you competed back in you competed in Miss World 3 years ago, and now that you're living the life that you have always dreamed of, which is competing in Miss Universe. How does it feel to be the first Maltese woman to represent her country in all these major pageant systems in the world?
I mean, it's an honor. Every time I've represented my country, be it in my athletics career, in my dance career, and now in pageantry, it's always an honor. That thrill, that satisfaction that you've worked so hard to achieve something, and then finally you can represent your country after all that hard work, and hopefully show it on an international stage. I'm not here only representing myself, Adam. I'm here representing the population, the Maltese population. The people have such big hearts here. And I can see it even more so now during this pandemic. I mean, still people have such big hearts. We're all for helping each other, and that is what I'm representing, all of them as well. So it's a true honor to be able to have this chance on such an international big stage. I think the biggest platform that I could represent my country in, and I'm just genuinely so thankful and so grateful to be able to go to Miss Universe, and I cannot wait for it to happen.
You know, given your singing and dancing background, it would have been obvious if you had gone, you know, and pursue a showbiz or entertainment career. But what is it about pageantry that you like so much, that attracted you so much? That's why
Okay,
you
so
keep on pursuing.
I am so passionate. It's a family thing. So ever since I was a little girl, we've always been, my mom has always been instilling within us, you have to help people, you have to help people. Whatever you can do, share your things as much as possible. You might be lucky enough to have this, and somebody else, it might be their dream to have that. So as much as possible, really do reach out. And not everybody maybe is as lucky as you to be able to have food on the table in the evening, for example, just simple things like that. So since I was a little girl, it's been a value which has been instilled within me. In fact, that is why I'm so passionate about dance, because with dance, you can really express yourself and pass on a message to the audience, which can maybe pass on a small message which can change someone's perspective on something. So show business does, I feel, obviously pass on a message, touch people's hearts, and pass on like an enjoyment period while people are watching. But with pageantry, I feel like, contrary to what most people think, I feel like with pageantry, I can use this platform even more so, to be able to help the community, to be able to pass on as much as I can, to be able to work more with my NGO organization. And I've been doing so much more since I've been in beauty pageants, and I am so grateful for that.
You know what, listening to you, you know, I'm impressed that you chose this route over the glitz and fame. You know, considering that you have your Eurovision stints before, so imagine the worldwide attention, you know, that kind of exposure would really, make you think that, okay, I think I'm meant for this more glitzier world. But you know, it's nice that how your mom has really instilled in you the value of public service, even at such a young age.
Yes, my mom is my best friend. She's my role model, and ever since I was a little girl, I think I spent every waking moment with her. She would drive me to every dance lesson, every rehearsal, every private lesson, school, every day. So I have really learned a lot from her, and I really hope to be at least half the woman, the mommy she is, when I have my own children and family in the future. Because, I mean, she really is, for me, my role model, my image of perfection, in a sense, in the way that she's brought us up, the values she's instilled within both me and my little sister. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, I can really imagine the impact that your mom has really shown you. So my next question would be: is it also the reason why you took up law? Is it because of its nature of public service?
Yes, exactly. The law has always intrigued me. I've done my dance degree first, not because I didn't want to do law first, but because dance is such a big passion of mine. And you and I both know the younger you are to do a dance degree, the better, the more that your body will
Yes.
let you. Um, and law has always been my obviously go to degree, my passion, my career. It was always where I wanted to go. The experience which I've been through, my psychological and physical abuse experience, has also, to be honest, instilled within me more courage, more determination to be able to pursue this. And I'm genuinely loving it. As in, I enjoy studying for the first time in a very long time, and I enjoy researching, and I just cannot wait to be able to defend and help the people like who are going through things which I maybe have been through, maybe worse. So it's a very big ambition which I have, and which will hopefully be reached in 3 years.
I'm. You said something. I'm curious to ask. I hope you don't mind me asking this. So, would you mind talking? Is that psychological abuse experience led you to really take this second college course that you are pursuing
Yes,
right now?
100%. So I went through an almost a 2 year time frame of this. It was an abusive relationship that I had been through. Somebody was constantly telling me I'm not good enough, that my forehead is too big, that I'm too fat, that I'm lazy, that I'm this and that I'm that. And because it's coming from somebody who is relatively very important in your life, you start to believe it, because obviously I'm going to mention my mom again, but we've always been brought up that the people who are closest to you and who care most about you will criticize you, but because they want what's best for you. So because they're criticizing you constructively, and like my mom, she's my biggest critic, and obviously she tells me everything, but because she wants me to do better, to improve, to be a better person. So you automatically think that the person that you love and that you care about is telling you these things because they're true and they want you to be better. But I was not realizing that I was slowly breaking down myself, my self-confidence, and then it became physical, and I was very embarrassed and very afraid to speak about it. Until I was hospitalized for 3 weeks due to high levels of stress and anxiety. I was barely eating because I was my heart. I remember my heart rate. I just couldn't control my heart rate, Adam. It was very scary. I used to stare at the ceiling all day. I stopped dancing for a long time. I also felt ashamed of that. I also felt like it wasn't good enough because I was told those things like, you dance, that's so silly. Like, why would you dance? My pageant career was also made fun of. Why do you do that? What's the point? And I used to say, I want to go back to university. I want to do law. Oh, but you have one degree. That's more than enough. Why do a second one? You're so stupid. You'll never manage to do a second one. And so it did really break me down. I was hospitalized for 3 weeks, and for 2 weeks, and I couldn't walk for 3 weeks. I lost the ability to walk. And that's what scared me the most. I mean, I went one day from dancing 9-10 hours a day, the second day not being able to walk. And I remember seeing my mother's face and my father's face, and they were just so panicked. Like, my mom used to stare at me in the hospital bed and then turn her face around and cry and pretend, like I used to pretend I didn't notice, because I know that, like, if she knew that I saw her crying, it would break her down so much more. And then thankfully, when I came out of hospital and I said, no more, this has to stop, because obviously I couldn't, for myself, and I couldn't keep seeing my family go through all of those things. My mommy came beside my bed one day and she said, what about law school? That was your dream since you were like a little girl. And what about Miss Universe? You've always said you wanted to do Miss Universe. Why not now? And with her help, with her support, with my family's help and support, I managed to. I remember going to the Miss Universe Malta organization, and I was the first candidate. I was the first contestant to actually sign my participation contract, and it was the September before, so almost a year before the pageant actually took place. And I said, I want to do this because I want to find myself. I want to train again. I want to eat again. I want to be physically fit again. And I want to find the person that I used to be again. And it has genuinely been, Adam, the best thing that I've done, because I've actually managed to find things in myself which I didn't know existed. And if I can help a handful of people, one or two people, and I know that my message has already come across to many people here in Malta. I've been collaborating now with Feed Them Charity Foundation as their ambassador. And we do reach out to women who are going through abuse, who have been going through illnesses, who are not financially able to carry out their dream. We promote education, and through this, so we empower them through promoting education. And it is something which I'm very passionate about, and something I'm so thankful to be doing with my community, because it's something which has really touched my heart and touched my family. And I'm so thankful that because of the correct support, because of the right support that we had, I was able to become the person I am today. And I would like to give that chance to as many girls and as many women as possible.
Mm.
So that's my
Listening, listening at you, for sure, a lot of women would benefit from your experience, from the wisdom of the experience that you are sharing to us right now. So my next question is, what insightful lesson have you learned from that painful episode of your life?
So I've learned that everybody is different, and the rights and wrongs in our character are not seen by, for example, I know I have my positive and my negative parts of my character, but that doesn't make me a good or bad person. So I know that I have to accept. It's good to accept another person as they are, not try to change them. I know I will never change for anybody again. That I believe in myself my full potential. I know what I'm capable of, and I understand my weaknesses, and I will not let anybody break me down to my weakest point again. And as much as possible, I would like to pass on this message to others so that nobody will go through what I did, because I remember it was such a scary place, and I was so afraid of just speaking, because I was afraid that people will make fun of me or will laugh at me or will call me names, because that is what had been happening for so long.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's really, listening at you, it's really hard to get out of an abusive relationship. Now, having heard what you said, would you also give the same advice to, let's say, a young girl who comes up to you and asks for your advice about getting out of an abusive
Yes, for sure.
relationship?
I mean, it is very clear to, I mean, my message is that it is not a taboo. We should not be embarrassed to admit that we are going through a situation which we cannot handle alone. I needed to speak to a psychologist. I needed to seek professional help in order to help me understand that, listen, I was not in the wrong here. um, that the only thing that I had done wrong was to let somebody break me down to my weakest point. So it is not an embarrassing situation. It is not a taboo to be able to understand and admit and seek for help. On the contrary, we should speak up. We should seek help, because that is the only way, unfortunately, well, fortunately, that we will get out of the situation. It is nothing to be embarrassed of. I mean, there are so many women and children who are undergoing abuse, and there are so many different types of abuse, and each single one requires a different form of help. So it is more important to speak up. It is so important to speak up. And unfortunately, we have this negative thinking that it's embarrassing. And I mean, it was difficult for me too to speak up, because I said, like, I come across on my social media, on my Instagram and Facebook and on television in Malta, as this bubbly person who's always smiling. And people might think she's crazy, but she's crazy to be saying that she's speaking to a psychologist, that she needs professional help. She must be mad. But the truth is that it is the best thing I've ever done, and it has genuinely empowered me so much more. I believe in myself so much more. I'm so much more confident, and it's the best thing I've ever done. So I do encourage people who are going through the similar situation to speak up.
True, yeah, speak up before it's too late. Yeah, listening to you again makes me realize, not probably you not probably, for sure, you have gained a lot of insights from it. Now, if ever you're gonna be entering in another relationship in the not so distant future, which do you think is more important for you, for both you and your partner to have in a relationship?
So
Love or
thankfully,
love
sorry.
or respect?
Thankfully, I am in a relationship.
Oh,
With somebody who I've known for the past 4 years. So I've known the person before. Obviously, I was in a relationship with him, and I think respect and love go hand in hand. I think the most important thing is to be able to be yourself around another person, and that another person loves and respects you for who you are, I mean, none of us are perfect. Of course, we disagree on certain things, and especially on food, because I love food, Adam. You have to understand I'm constantly eating. um, so it's very important to respect another person. I mean, we all have different opinions. We all disagree on certain things, but the most important thing is respect and love and care and, you know, not hurting somebody. But in the case of a disagreement, you have to discuss and speak and be civilized. You know, we have to respect each other like you would like the other person to respect you and your family at the end of the day. So that is my advice.
Great advice. Yes. So, do you think this gives you more character now as a pageant contestant?
For sure, yes, I completely agree. I'm a completely different person. I am not the same Anthea that competed in Miss World and at Miss Supranational now. I am more grown up, more mature. I've been through certain things which have changed my perspective a lot about life, and I have become more outspoken. My aim is to help so many people, and that is my goal ultimately. At the end of this year, I want to look back and say, this is something I started, which has helped this amount of women, and which will continue to help thousands of women over the years. So this year is only the start for me of such a long way to go with my charity foundation, with my work that I'm doing in the community here. So I hope I will take that with me to Miss Universe, but it is a journey for me which is ongoing. It is not something I plan to stop to do ever, and I will continue to work on it and excel in this work amongst my community for as long as I live, for sure.
Yes, listening to you, I can see that you're very passionate about it, about your causes, about your experiences, and then sharing it to a lot of people to benefit so that a lot of people could benefit from them. So, how do you think this Miss Universe platform is very important to you?
The Miss Universe platform is the biggest platform worldwide. They are an organization who is who is in themselves so passionate about helping people. They have strong messages to pass on, and I will use this platform as my platform to be able to share my message with as many people worldwide. So, being part of this Miss Universe family, getting to know already some of the girls. I've been speaking to Maria from Australia and so many other girls over our Miss Universe WhatsApp messages group. Already, we have one already. It's been there since I think the week after I won. I was already in this group, so it's been existing for a very long time. And our private messages on Instagram, I think, besides growing a bigger family of sisterhood, which I'm so grateful to have already. It will be a big platform for us all to be able to share our advocacy and be able to speak up and help as many people as we can.
Do you think pageants nowadays are in a better position right now because of this whole advocacy thing or component?
I think people in general have a misconception about pageants. So they look at us as material objects sometimes, or which is very unfortunate. We're all girls with a mission. We are all girls with a life. We are normal people who go to school, who have studied, who have passions about art, music, drama, food, traveling. But we have been lucky enough to be given this platform to be able to use what we are most passionate about to share it with the people who are watching us and following us. I mean, I don't feel privileged or I don't feel better than anybody else because I am Miss Universe Malta. I am so thankful for this title because I am using it to be able to help so many people in my community who have a problem but were not able to identify it. So that is
So
what
for
I'm.
you, it's more of a responsibility.
Yes,
Rather than
and one which I take on with a lot of dedication and gratitude because I mean, yes, I love being on stage and I love performing and I love my catwalk and I love wearing the nice dresses and I'm so excited because we've almost finalized my gowns for Miss Universe now. So yes, I love all that, but most fundamentally, it is very important to be able to pass on my advocacy to the people that need it most in my community.
That's nice to hear. You're very passionate about a lot of things. How could you encourage young girls to develop that same passion for something that they so like to be doing right now? How can they develop that?
I think to just work at it, to dedicate time to it, whatever you love and whatever interests you most, dedicate some time to it, and then it will show you if you're really that interested about it, it's a passion which will keep on growing within yourself. I've reached a point where when I'm stressful and upset, instead of speaking to someone about it and just like letting it out verbally, I prefer putting on a song and just physically dancing. And I feel like it expresses so much stress, so much anger. I'm able to release so much of that which has been like bubbled up inside me. And that is my happy place, my dancing, even if it's just in my room or in an empty studio with nobody watching. That is my way of letting go, and breaking free for that little while. It could be art, it could be sport, it could be running, just running in the countryside by yourself to be able to free your thoughts. But it's those few minutes, that hour, those 2 hours every single day, which you dedicate to something which you love doing. And then I think that is so healthy to be able to have that one thing that you're so passionate about. So for sure, my advice is to dedicate time to that thing that you think is your passion.
That's a great advice. But how would you encourage parents to support their children who have already developed that kind of passion? Let's say, assuming that passion does not earn that much compared to, let's say, if that child
So
something.
that is exactly my experience. So my father's side of our family come from a very academic background, so doctors, lawyers, accountants. So then when there was me and I was like, Daddy, I want to pursue a dance degree and a dance career. And he was like, can't we keep it as a hobby? Like, you're very good at it, but don't you think you need a job where you actually, can earn a living, where you can actually sustain a family, where you can actually earn money? And I said, I can do it through my dance for sure. I mean, he did not. I mean, my dad is like my best friend, so I'm no way saying something which I disagree with him by. But we have slightly different mentalities, and he did support me. But he didn't agree with me, I will admit. But he did support me, and he's my number one fan. So he will travel. He has traveled to Lisbon to see me. He has traveled to Czech Republic to watch me perform. He's traveled to Poland to watch me at Miss Supranational. So he has supported me along the way, and he's very, very, very supportive in my pageant career. But when it came to doing my dance degree, he was a little bit taken back, primarily because in Malta and in my family, on my dad's side, academics plays a very, very important role. Musical theatre here is still developing, and we don't have that many dancers who are working full-time just as in like our dance companies, or we don't have many full-time musicians or full-time singers and actors yet. Everybody still has their job and then does it as a hobby. So when I decided to take this leap of faith, in order to do what I was most passionate about, he was a little bit hesitant. My mother, on the other hand, she completely supported me. She applied for the course herself, actually. So that is what I think. I mean, let your children do whatever they are most passionate about, because I believe that the most important thing in life is to be happy. Money doesn't make you happy. We have some of the richest people in the world who aren't happy, so who aren't, fulfilled and content. So I think primarily the most important thing is to be content in here. After you're content in your heart and happy in your heart, then the world will give you signs and will let you know where to go or how to do it. But a life lived unhappy is not a life I would want to live at all. I would rather be financially not well off, but happy in my heart and happy with my family and happy with myself, than financially very well off and living a life which is unhappy.
So the lesson that we can learn from what you just said is that it really pays off to have a supportive set of parents.
Yes, for sure. Support your children and support their dream, because I mean I am sure that parents' main goal in life is to see their children happy, and by supporting them and their dreams, then I think that is a very good way on how to make them happy, genuinely happy, not materially happy, obviously.
Yeah, true. So wait, there's a question here from Alfonso. As we were discussing earlier, you were mentioning about the WhatsApp group of your sisters in Miss Universe. You mentioned about the Miss Universe group chat for the candidates. People are curious and excited to know what's happening there. Any candid instances or happy instances that you can share? How's the GC like?
I mean, we speak about everything really. We speak about posts which other people like, which we post between us. For example, if somebody had a nice photo we all like, we're like, oh my God, you look so beautiful. Like, congratulations, it's a beautiful shoot you did. We obviously wished Happy Christmas to each other, Happy New Year. When there was the earthquake, the unfortunate earthquake in Croatia, we all spoke about how we could potentially support that and help that. We all agreed to share the money donations on our the link that there was to fund and send money to Croatia and others support the cause on our social medias. What else? We were all excited to fill up the contestant form this week, which we had to submit to Miss Universe by the end of the year. So we were all saying, okay, my form is complete, my form is almost complete, my form is on the way, you know. So we do speak every single day. There's a chat going all the time. So it's a sisterhood which is building, and I really cannot wait to meet them because we've built a friendship already through this Instagram, this WhatsApp group, and you know, to be able to see someone in real life we've been speaking to for months already is super nice.
I hope the WhatsApp group will still continue even after the competition is over.
Yes, I mean, yesterday I got Happy New Year's messages from my Miss World WhatsApp group, which is still active. So yes, I mean, they do continue, which is beautiful.
Oh, you can really find great sisterhood, you know,
For
and
sure.
lifelong friends in pageantry. Now you talk about pageantry. I wanna, I'm really impressed at how you managed to compete in those three major pageant systems: Miss World, Miss Supranational, and now as a Miss Universe candidate. Now, for a lot of girls who are watching this interview, what would you, what is your secret?
Discipline.
In winning all these pageants, yeah, secret weapon.
Discipline and being yourself throughout. I think there's nothing more important than that. I mean, with discipline and determination, I think to be the best version of yourself, to work the hardest that you can, to be the best version of yourself, and to be yourself, because at the end of the day, you don't want to win for someone you're not. You don't want to be someone you're not. You want to be yourself and be able to promote that version of yourself, because ultimately you will be happiest when you are yourself, right? You will be stronger when you are yourself, and you will be more genuine when you are yourself. So that was my secret: never change, never do something which will harm others. So I will never ever do something which will jeopardize someone else's chance of winning so that I could win myself, right? So I've always helped other contestants who are even against me, and I've done it wholeheartedly and willingly because obviously that's who I am.
But how do you know the timing? Because you did Miss World first, because of you got invited by the Miss World organization, and then how did it lead you to Miss Supranational and then Miss Universe? So for the young girls who will be pursuing a career in pageantry, how would they know which pageant system suits them, or the timing, if you can call that, or is there any?
Okay, so my timing for my stepping stone from Miss World to Miss Supranational, when I was doing Miss World, people who are very involved in the Miss Supranational Malta organization used to help me train, help me do my catwalk training, because obviously I was very new to it all, so I did need all the help I could get. And it was also a competition which interested me because I was very, very intrigued by the performance and the spectacle that they put on at Miss Supranational. And being a dancer and being a performer, that is something which I really looked forward to do. And that is my stepping stone there. And I was invited to go to Poland through the Miss Supranational organization, and I was very excited to go. Miss Universe, on the other hand, is, in my opinion, the biggest platform that I could reach, and it was a competition, a pageant competition, which had been a dream since I cannot even imagine and remember. It was not always available in Malta, so I remember when I was in the year that I won Miss World Malta, Miss Universe had come back to Malta after a 15-year break. And even watching the competition, sitting in the audience and watching the competition, I was blown away. And it was something I kept on following, something I kept on admiring, the confidently beautiful slogan that is so powerful and is interpreted in so many ways by so many beautiful women, and in order to help their own advocacy, and that is something which I've admired for so long. And I think after having been through the past, well, not those 2 years of that traumatizing experience, it is something which I made very personal, and which became applicable very, very much so to me. And that is why I decided that, with my mom's support as well, that this was my year to take part in Miss Universe, because the confidently beautiful slogan applied so much to my personal life, to my personal experiences. It was genuinely, and really me in my purest form, just trying to fight to get myself back. And that is why I said this year is my year.
Go claim it. Yes, you talk about pageantry with so much passion. I'm curious to ask, who or which beauty queen do you look up to the most, or any pageant personality that you idolize?
Okay, so Catriona Gray was with me at Miss World. She was
Yes.
my friend at Miss World, and I remember sitting next to her when we were doing the final, the talent final, when we first did a semi-final with the top 20 girls, and then you get cut down, you perform again to top 10, and she was sitting by my side there, and so she's a personal favorite, because maybe I'm a bit biased because she was a friend at Miss World, but Demi Lay is also somebody I look up to very, very, very much. I think she's so genuine and she's so real, and she's done so much, and I think she would have to be my favorite Miss Universe.
Oh, listening at you right now, you really have so much character. Do you think character, beauty, and everything what
Thank
Miss Universe is looking for in a winner nowadays? Do you think you'll be the first Maltese woman to penetrate the semifinals of Miss Universe in
what I
history?
pray for every night, every morning, every waking second of the day. So yes, that is my dream. I wish Malta has never placed in an international pageant before, let alone in something as grand and big as Miss Universe. I am working very hard, not just on myself, within my community, because it's something I'm very passionate about ultimately. And yes, I really, really hope so. I would be so honored to be the first Maltese person to be classified in the top of Miss Universe. It would be a dream, genuinely.
I think you can do it because you've got the best pageant coach in the world right now. Hi, Giselle. I hope she's finally awake to watch this interview. Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
with the time difference, she must be exhausted.
Yeah, thank you for making this interview possible, Miss Giselle. Yeah, I think she's really handling you well. I think for sure you must be learning so much from her, following all her advice,
Yes,
considering that she
I'm so
has really.
grateful to have her. She's my angel at the moment. She's there every single second of every single day, even with our time difference. It's 3 a.m. there, so if she's awake to watch us, I would be very honored. But she's my angel. Genuinely, she's a godsend, and I'm so grateful to have her.
So for sure you have something up in your sleeve come something big come Miss Universe, considering that, she's training you.
She's training me. My national organization are so supportive. My catwalk coach here, Marv, is incredible. I am so lucky to be working with a team of so many talented individuals, and all working towards the same cause. And I'm just so grateful to have them all, because and yes, we will have something up our sleeves for sure, and I cannot wait to share it with everybody and show them the new version of me.
Yeah, hopefully. Oh, it's finally high time for Malta to make it to the
I
Miss
hope
Universe
so.
semis. So our fun and light-hearted questions which will
Okay,
bring out, yeah, the very best of your personality as we get to know you more leading up to Miss Universe. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So off the top of your head, anything that comes off your head, just say it. All right. Describe number one. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Okay, determined, confident now, and kind-hearted.
Nice. What Netflix show are you currently obsessed with?
Crown, The Crown. Have you watched it?
Oh, I haven't even. But they say the latest season is very compelling
Yes,
because of the Princess Diana factor. Is it
it's
true?
beautiful. Yes, it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. I had watched it a few years back, when the first and second seasons were out. I must admit I missed the third, so I had to catch up on that. But I mean, I can't stop watching it. And it also happened to me with Rain. It's also a similar season about British history, the different, the collaboration between British and France at the time of Mary Queen of Scots. And for some reason, I'm very, very obsessed with these historical, with a twist, obviously, these series. So that is The Crown. I love The Crown at the moment. It's my go-to every single night when I have some free time to myself.
Right, that's nice. Okay. What is one thing in the past you swear you will never do again?
Eat snails.
Snails? Why? Where did you have it?
It's a Maltese delicacy. And no, I don't like snails. My grandmother, she keeps trying to feed them to me every single time I go to her house because they're a Maltese delicacy, right? But no, they're very slimy for me. Obviously, if I'm being, the other aspect, the less fun aspect is not going through an experience like I've already experienced with regards to abuse again. But if I'm being myself, I would never eat snails again. That is it.
True. What's the best advice you have received all your life?
Okay, the best advice I've received all my life is without a doubt. My grandmother has a saying, well, it's an English saying, but she's made it personal, to always find the silver lining in every situation. So no matter how negative a situation is, no matter how traumatizing, no matter how you feel that your life has failed miserably or a situation has, been terribly the opposite of what you've expected it to become, to always find that little thing that you could take from it to learn or to understand why it happened, to make a future situation better. So to always take that something small from every situation, to take it with you, to learn from it, and to turn it into something positive.
If your life were to be a song or dance track of a movie or anything, what title would that song or dance track be?
From an existing song?
Oh, up to you.
Okay, I would want it definitely to be a country song, a country music song, because I'm very fond of my grandmother, if you notice, in every single interview I have to mention her. And she's very passionate about country music. So we sing to country music every single day when she's around, when I go to her house. So a country song, definitely. And it would probably be love related because she's very passionate about that too. So from Love Me As Myself, something along that line. I Am Me, something along that line. Something which is empowering and assertive, I think, for sure.
Do you get to see her nowadays, considering the time that we live in?
It was very heartbreaking when the pandemic first started, to be able to see her. I used to go and visit her from the road and she'd look out from her balcony. Also, my grandfather had a very serious heart surgery recently, so we're all very afraid of being in contact with him, because obviously I still have to go to work, my sister still goes to work, my dad still goes to work, so we do come in contact with, I'm a teacher, so I come in contact with hundreds of kids every day. So in order to keep them safe, the situation was a bit better here over the summer, so we did have a few barbecues together outside, and we did get to see them a little bit. But now that the situation is, it was heartbreaking on for New Year's and Christmas not to have them over for lunch, because it's something we really look forward to. But we do visit sometimes with our masks on from far away, and that is how I gave her a Christmas present, for example. But she's always been my best friend. Like, my punishments growing up when I was young would be, you won't visit Nana, like, because she's taught me so many things. She's taught me how to knit. She's taught me how to do ganotel is a Maltese word where they make flowers and petals and roses out of like metal strings, which would be colored. It's like a Maltese traditional thing. And I'll show you. We have one. I'll show you. Unless I break it.
Nice. Thank you.
One of these.
Oh, wow.
I make them with my nana when I was growing up all the time, and knitting and sewing. So she's taught me a lot of that too. So that's why I'm so close to her and I love her to bits. And she's also a
Uh,
very fashionista, so I stole my first heels from her too.
oh, that's nice. For sure, she's also very proud of your success right
Yes,
now.
she is. She is. When I remember this year at Miss Universe, she wasn't able to be there because obviously we had a performance with no audience. However, at Miss World, as soon as I won, I put the crown on her head. Um, because she really is like someone who is so special to me, and to me, she's my queen.
Okay, now we go on to difficult topics. All right, Miss Universe questions. What do you think is since you like talking about you're also very passionate about life and social issues. What do you think is the biggest social movement of our generation today?
Um, there are so many different social movements. I am very passionate about Black Lives Matter. We are a country who have a very high number of immigrants here because of our strategic position in the Mediterranean Sea. We are very close to Africa and just below Italy and Sicily, so we're very on the way. And it is heartbreaking to see the way that these people are treated. They are treated in a very ill manner. The way people look at them, our perception, unfortunately, as citizens of the world. So that is a cause which is very close to my heart at the moment. I'm very passionate about it. In fact, my final question at Miss World, at Miss Universe, sorry, in August, was what do you believe is the biggest problem that the world is facing at the moment in your community? Sorry, that your community is facing at the moment, and this is a subject which I brought up.
Nice. Okay. Another hot issue in Malta nowadays is also the issue of open borders. So, given our today's refugee situation, plus the fact that we are in a pandemic right now, do you feel that countries like Malta should be obligated to open their borders or
Okay,
close at
difficult
this time?
question. I think that every country in the world at the moment is primarily taking its safety and the safety of its citizens into consideration. So our borders have now been closed because of, containing the population, containing the pandemic, and containing the spread. Having said that, um, these are people, they are still citizens, they have nothing less than us, and they're completely equal to what we are. And if they do need help, then yes, I would genuinely allow them to come in. And I do understand that they would have to follow certain measures, like being in exile for 2 weeks, just to make sure that they are not infected with the coronavirus, or you know being closed in a specific place together until we know that they are safe and they are able to, circle the community. But if the Maltese people, if the population of that country is and its safety is still taken into consideration, then I don't see why not. Why leave these people? People out at sea is almost a recipe for having them being killed by, just the situation being there, the sun, the waves, the wind, deprivation of food and water. So yes, I would definitely let them in, following
Uh,
still following the measures, obviously, and,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
ensuring safety for the population and for them too, because ultimately, Malta is still facing the pandemic, and they will be entering a pandemic. But keeping everybody's safety in mind, then yes, but that's me.
Exactly. Great answer. So last question. If you could create, since you're a junior law student, if you could create a new law, what would it be and explain why?
Okay. So there is a law in our country, and the controversy which has happened recently, where women who are giving birth and are facing, so they have a very, very high chance of dying. So the doctor would have said that this person is dying whilst giving birth, does not have the right to choose what happens with her baby. So basically, what happens in Malta at the moment now is a committee of doctors meets up to discuss and decides the fate of the woman and her baby, and that is something which I would change. I think I would instill more equality rights, more, women rights here are very controversial in certain circumstances. So that is something my law would be that I would at least give the decision of what happens to the woman and her baby to her husband, to her family, to her parents, rather than to outsiders, to male outsiders who have nothing to do with the person. And it's like, who am I to decide the fate of someone else's baby and life? So that is a law which I would instill, changing. This is a very big controversy here at the moment. So giving the woman a voice, a chance to decide what happens with her body, with her baby, and the future of both of them.
It's really nice that you lump women empowerment even in all the hard hard questions that it's really nice. You're all for it. You're all for inspiring, empowering your fellow women in your community. That's really a noble goal. Who knows, you might be running for public office 20 years from now.
Maybe, yes. Not something I don't rule out completely at this point.
All right. On that note, that ends our interview. Thank you so much, Miss Anthea, for gracing this interview. I hope you had a fun time.
Yes, I had so much fun. Thank you so much for having
this interview. Now we got to know you better as we count the number of months. I wonder when that will be, leading up to Miss Universe very, very soon. So God bless you. Stay safe and hydrated. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Miss Giselle, if you're finally awake. Thank you for making this interview possible. So good luck.
Thank you so much.
I can't wait to cheer for you virtually
Thank you
on the upcoming Miss Universe. So it has been such a pleasure getting to know you. All right, thanks.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so can you give a message to all, last question, can you give a message to all your followers supporting you in the upcoming Miss Universe?
I would like to say thank you so much to you all for being there every step of the way, for all your messages. I do read them all. And I do plan on, I do answer most of the ones so I do answer all of the ones I read. I'm so grateful to have you believing in me. I come from a very small country with less than 500,000 population. So having your support genuinely means so much. And I'm so grateful. And I cannot wait to hopefully make a difference this year at Miss Universe. Pray for me, because I pray for myself and for my country every single moment. So please pray for me.
Yes.
Possible.
Yes. I will include you now in my prayers. So
thank you so much, Adam.
Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, Miss Anthea. I hope you have a wonderful year ahead. I can't wait for you to reach all these amazing goals that you have for yourself. And hopefully we'll see you conquer big time, on the universal stage.
Fingers crossed. Thank you so much. Yes.
All right. Take care, Miss Anthea.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, virtual hugs and kisses all the way from Manila.
Same here.
You think